November 2024. The night sky glows with a brightness we haven't seen in ages. The moon, our closest cosmic neighbor, appears larger, brighter, and somehow more alive. But this isn't just a normal full moon. What we're witnessing is a phenomenon that has scientists buzzing with excitement. And yes, a bit of trepidation. Today we're diving deep into the mysterious, unprecedented lunar surge that has captivated skywatchers, baffled researchers, and has some people genuinely afraid of what might happen next. All right, let's unpack what we mean by lunar surge. This isn't just an extra-large full moon. It's not even one of those supermoons that seem to loom just a bit closer every so often. What we're seeing this month is an unusual lunar event, a combination of several rare cosmic alignments and gravitational forces that have amplified the moon's impact on Earth like never before. The effects are already being felt across our planet. Tides are rising far beyond what anyone predicted, stretching the boundaries of our coastlines and flooding areas that don't normally see such high water levels. These extreme tides, often called king tides, usually occur when the moon is closest to Earth in its orbit. But this time, something even bigger is at play. Not only is the moon at perigee, its closest point to Earth, but it's also aligned perfectly with the sun and Earth, creating an intense gravitational pull that is now being referred to as the lunar surge. What does this mean for us here on Earth? First, let's look at how this lunar surge is impacting the oceans. In coastal regions, these super high tides are causing an increase in what's known as nuisance flooding, essentially flooding that disrupts daily life without causing massive destruction. Streets are filling up with salt water, docks are submerged, and beaches are eroding faster than usual. But nuisance flooding is just the start. Some areas are reporting tides nearly a foot higher than usual, turning minor floods into significant events and putting coastal infrastructure at risk. And it's not just a problem for the coasts. Inland waterways connected to the ocean through rivers and bays are also seeing heightened water levels, causing concerns for cities that typically don't have to worry about such flooding. Scientists say that these extreme tides could last for several weeks as the moon's gravitational pull continues to exert its influence. But the ocean isn't the only thing feeling the effects. Scientists believe that the increased gravitational force could be stirring up things deep within our planet, possibly triggering seismic activity. Yes, you heard that right. There's a theory that a stronger lunar pull could actually impact tectonic plates, especially in areas already under high stress. While there's no immediate danger, and certainly no proof that an earthquake or volcanic eruption is imminent, the data is intriguing. Some researchers are tracking fault lines more closely during this period, watching for any potential shifts. One of the key scientists studying this event has commented that, while we don't fully understand the relationship between the moon's gravitational pull and seismic activity, there's a noticeable pattern. In some regions, minor tremors and small quakes do seem to correlate with times of strong lunar alignment. Could this surge be the tipping point? We simply don't know. But it's clear that the surge has our planet's attention, and it's not just the planet that's reacting. Animals whose biological rhythms are often tied to the moon seem to be behaving differently. From sea creatures like crabs and turtles who are deeply affected by the tides, to birds and mammals who use the moon to guide their migrations, there are reports of unusual behaviors. Wolves, known to be most active around full moons, have been seen gathering in larger than normal groups, while migratory birds are altering their flight patterns. It's as if they too sense that something about this lunar event is different. So what happens next? The lunar surge will slowly subside as the moon moves out of its closest orbit and the gravitational alignment with the sun shifts. But scientists are closely monitoring the after effects to understand whether this surge will leave a lasting impact. And while we don't expect the dramatic consequences some might fear, like immediate tectonic shifts or permanent changes to coastlines, these insights could change the way we think about the moon's influence on our planet. But what if this isn't a one-time event? What if we're entering a new era of lunar influence, with the moon's gravitational power growing stronger due to unknown cosmic forces? Imagine a world where lunar surges happen regularly, altering our tides, our weather, and even the stability of our land. This would not only disrupt ecosystems and communities, but it could redefine how we interact with our world and the universe beyond. This November's lunar surge reminds us of just how connected we are to the cosmos. Our moon, often viewed as a quiet and static presence, has suddenly come alive, reminding us that even something so familiar can surprise us. Whether it leads to new scientific discoveries or simply a greater appreciation of our universe, this lunar event has truly captivated the world. Now that we've explored the immediate effects of this unprecedented lunar surge, let's take a step back and think about the moon itself. For thousands of years, cultures around the world have looked to the moon as a source of myth, wonder, and sometimes fear. Ancient civilizations observed its cycles, believing it influenced everything from human behavior to the growth of crops. Today, while we have scientific explanations, the moon still holds a certain mystique. Since the dawn of humanity, the moon has been a companion in our night sky. Ancient Babylonians tracked its movements, Egyptian astronomers noted its phases, and sailors navigated by its light. Even now, with all our technology, there's a sense of awe in looking up and seeing that same moon, unchanged for millions of years. But perhaps this event reminds us that, just as we change and grow, our relationship with the moon and the cosmos also evolves. As we continue to observe this phenomenon, scientists are beginning to see potential connections they hadn't considered before. For instance, could events like the lunar surge play a role in climate patterns? While the gravitational pull affects tides, some researchers are now exploring whether unusually high tidal activity could in turn influence ocean currents and weather systems. This might sound far-fetched, but imagine the ripple effect of extra high tides altering the flow of warm or cold water, eventually impacting storms or even seasonal changes. Several climatologists are already interested in studying this aspect further. It's a huge question, but one that could shed light on how the moon subtly affects not just our tides, but our entire climate. Imagine if certain weather anomalies could actually be traced back to lunar cycles or gravitational shifts. If this lunar surge becomes a breakthrough event in understanding climate patterns, the possibilities are endless. Then there's the question of the human mind. Many people have long believed the full moon affects mood, sleep, even behavior. While studies on this are mixed, the lunar surge has revived interest in this ancient idea. Could a stronger gravitational pull subtly influence brainwaves or biological cycles? Psychologists and neuroscientists are revisiting old questions, hoping to discover new insights. For some, this is an exciting frontier, blending ancient wisdom with modern science. It's inspiring to see how this lunar event has brought people together, united in curiosity and awe. Across the world, communities are gathering to watch the moon, some organizing moon viewing events and discussions about what the surge might mean for the future. In a way, this celestial event has brought a renewed sense of connection to both the cosmos and each other. Where does this leave us? As the moon continues its cosmic dance, scientists are closely tracking every variable, every rise in the tides, every seismic shift, and every unusual pattern in weather or wildlife behavior. The results will undoubtedly deepen our understanding of the moon's influence and perhaps unveil mysteries we've yet to uncover. But beyond the scientific curiosity, the lunar surge reminds us of something larger, something timeless, that in an age of advanced technology and rapid change, there are forces much bigger than us, forces that we're only beginning to understand. It's humbling, isn't it? To realize how the universe still holds mysteries, waiting patiently for us to notice and appreciate them. As November draws to a close, take a moment to step outside and look up at the moon. Think of it not just as a rock in the sky, but as a powerful presence that influences every wave, every breath, every heartbeat. Let it remind you of the vastness and beauty of the universe and the wonders that surround us, seen and unseen. Because who knows what the next lunar surge might bring, or what other secrets the moon has yet to reveal. As we've explored this unique lunar surge and its impact on Earth, one question lingers: why now? Why are we seeing these amplified effects in this particular month of 2024? While some scientists believe it's simply a rare alignment of celestial factors, others speculate that something bigger could be at play. a hint that the relationship between Earth and the moon is evolving in ways we never expected. Some astronomers suggest this may be linked to larger cycles within the solar system, cycles that span centuries or even millennia. For instance, they point to gravitational influences from other planets, particularly the gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn. These massive planets don't just orbit the sun, they exert a subtle pull on other celestial bodies, including our moon. When these gravitational forces line up just right, it's possible they could temporarily alter the moon's path, creating a stronger, more noticeable impact on Earth. Could this lunar surge be a result of such a cosmic chain reaction? And what about the future? Some astronomers think that if these gravitational shifts continue, they could alter the moon's orbit in small but significant ways, potentially making events like this surge more common. Imagine a world where our moon's proximity changes more often, leading to frequent high tides, shifting ecosystems, and new challenges for human settlements along coastlines. But what if this lunar surge isn't just about natural forces? Some researchers are exploring the idea that humanity's impact on Earth could also affect the moon's influence on us. It may sound surprising, but our own actions, such as building massive cities, damming rivers, and even launching satellites, could have an impact on the Earth-Moon relationship. Could we, in some small way, be changing the dynamic between our planet and its closest celestial companion? Consider this. Earth's mass distribution is shifting as we alter our environment, drilling, mining, and building vast structures. These changes might be subtle, but they affect Earth's gravitational field, which in turn can influence the moon's pull. It's an intriguing idea that our connection with the moon might be a two-way street, and that as we change our planet, we're also subtly changing our relationship with the cosmos. Of course, for now, these ideas are speculative, fascinating theories without definitive answers. But isn't that part of the wonder? The moon, so familiar to us in the night sky, still holds mysteries that challenge our understanding and stretch our imaginations. As the lunar surge begins to fade, scientists around the world will analyze the data collected during this event. They'll compare measurements, test hypotheses, and look for clues that could help us understand this strange phenomenon. In the coming months, new findings might be revealed, giving us a deeper insight into this rare occurrence and perhaps sparking new fields of research in astronomy, geology, and environmental. For us, though, the takeaway is simple. Our universe is full of surprises, and even the things we think we know best, like the moon, can astonish us. As we look up at the sky each night, let's remember that we are part of something vast and beautiful. The moon's journey, its phases, its pull, it all reminds us that we're connected to something far greater than ourselves. In a world where so much feels uncertain, the moon is a constant, a reminder that the rhythms of nature carry on, linking us across time and space. This lunar surge, a rare and stunning event, reminds us to stay curious, to ask questions, and to marvel at the beauty of our universe. So as this lunar surge fades into history, let's take a moment to consider what lies ahead for our understanding of the moon and our place within the universe. As humans, we've always looked to the moon, from the first cave paintings to the Apollo missions that put us on its surface. And now, as technology advances and our curiosity deepens, we're preparing to revisit and redefine our relationship with the moon in ways that were once unimaginable. Just as we're witnessing this unprecedented lunar surge, we're also at the beginning of a new era of lunar exploration. NASA's Artemis program is gearing up to bring humans back to the moon for the first time in over 50 years. The goal? To build a sustainable human presence on the lunar surface. Unlike the Apollo missions of the past, which were short visits, Artemis aims to establish a long-term base on the moon, one that could eventually act as a gateway to Mars and beyond. But what does this mean for us here on Earth? A permanent base on the moon would be a game changer. Imagine scientists conducting experiments on the lunar surface, studying its geology, understanding its resources, and maybe even mining for elements like helium-3, which could revolutionize energy production here on Earth. The moon would become more than just a distant light in the night sky. It would be an active partner in our journey to the stars. And it's not just about exploration for exploration's sake. The discoveries we make on the moon could directly impact life on Earth. Studying the effects of lunar gravity on human biology, for example, could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, helping us understand conditions like osteoporosis and muscle atrophy. Harvesting resources from the moon could also pave the way for sustainable space travel, reducing our need to launch heavy equipment from Earth and instead using the moon as a launch pad to explore the solar system. This isn't just an opportunity for space agencies, though. The next generation is growing up with the moon as a destination within reach. Imagine the future scientists, engineers, and explorers who are watching these missions unfold, who are looking up at the sky right now and dreaming of walking on the lunar surface. In classrooms around the world, students are learning that a life in space may one day be possible, and maybe one of those students will be the first person to call the moon home. And just as we inspire the next generation, we're also connecting people across borders. The Artemis program, for instance, isn't just a NASA initiative. It's a collaborative effort involving space agencies from around the world. Countries that once saw each other as rivals in the space race are now coming together, sharing knowledge, resources, and dreams of a lunar future. The moon, a symbol of solitude and mystery, is now becoming a source of unity. As we continue to explore, we're reminded that the moon isn't just a stepping stone to other planets. It's a part of our shared human story. It's been with us since the beginning, guiding our ancestors, inspiring our artists, and now challenging our scientists. The more we learn about the moon, the more we learn about ourselves, our resilience, our curiosity, and our boundless capacity to dream. Across cultures and across time, the moon has always been there, a constant in a world of change. This lunar surge reminds us that we're still connected to that ancient celestial rhythm, that no matter how advanced we become, we're still part of this incredible cosmic dance. As we reach for the moon, we're also reaching for a deeper understanding of who we are and where we come from. As the lunar surge begins to settle and the moon resumes its regular orbit, take a moment to reflect. Look up at that glowing sphere in the night sky and remember that it's more than just a rock in space. It's a part of us, a constant reminder that the universe is vast and that every one of us is connected to something far greater than ourselves. As we prepare for a future where humans might one day live on the moon, we should cherish these moments of wonder, awe, and discovery. Let them remind us to stay curious, to embrace the mysteries, and to look up together. Because one day we may find that we've gone farther than we ever imagined, and it all started with a glance at the moon. As we wrap up this journey through the mysteries of the lunar surge and our connection with the moon, let's dream even bigger. For the first time in history, we're not just exploring space, we're planning to live there. The moon is our immediate goal, but our eyes are set beyond it, to Mars, to the asteroid belt, and one day to the stars. And while the moon will play a critical role in these future missions, it's only the beginning. Just as we once looked to the moon and wondered what was beyond, now we look to Mars and even farther. It's hard to imagine what our future in space will look like. Spaceports on Mars, research stations on asteroids, or even interstellar exploration. But every journey starts with a single step. The moon is that step for us now, just as it was a half-century ago during the Apollo missions. What does it mean to live beyond Earth? The moon and Mars offer us the chance to understand what it takes to build a sustainable human presence in space, to face challenges that will shape our species for generations. Imagine creating technology to produce oxygen, water, and food from the resources of other worlds. Think of the potential to test new medical advancements in lunar or Martian gravity, which could transform life for those of us back here on Earth. It's incredible to think that the technologies we're developing now, as we prepare to live on the moon, could one day lead to thriving human settlements on other planets. We're not just preparing for life on the moon, we're preparing to become a multi-planetary species. And in doing so, we're making life here on Earth more sustainable, more resilient, and more capable of facing global challenges. And with each step, we're inspiring a new generation. The Artemis generation, as they're being called, will be the first to see humanity return to the moon and hopefully step onto Mars. This generation of students, dreamers, and future scientists is growing up in an age where space is no longer a distant frontier, but a destination within reach. They'll be the ones to take us further than we can imagine, and it all starts here, with a fascination for the moon, the drive to learn, and the courage to dream big. So what does the future hold? If the lunar surge has shown us anything, it's that our relationship with the cosmos is ever evolving, always filled with new mysteries and endless possibilities. The moon has been with us since the beginning, a guiding light through history and mythology, and now it's leading us into the future. As we wrap up this journey into the mysteries of the moon, let's take a moment to consider what all of this truly means for each of us here on Earth. We may think of the moon as distant, a silent figure in the night sky, but in reality, it's part of who we are. It's a reminder of how connected we are to the universe, how much there is still left to explore, and how important it is to look beyond the familiar and into the unknown. Think about this. No matter where we are on Earth, we all look up and see the same moon. It's a shared experience, a universal reminder that we're all inhabitants of this fragile planet, drifting together in the vastness of space. The moon belongs to all of us. It's part of our shared story. In a world filled with divisions, it's a symbol of unity, of something that transcends borders, languages, and beliefs. The moon connects us to our past, but it also beckons us toward our future. This lunar surge and the interest it sparked reminds us that there is always more to learn, more to discover. We're reminded that every question we answer brings new questions. Every mystery we solve opens up more unknowns. And maybe that's the most exciting part, that our journey into space, our quest to understand the moon, will never truly end. There will always be new horizons to explore. Imagine the children of today looking up at the moon and wondering what it would be like to walk on its surface or to see Earth from above. These are the explorers of tomorrow, the dreamers who will carry humanity's journey into the next chapter. They're the ones who will unlock mysteries that we can only begin to imagine. And when they do, they'll stand on the shoulders of all who came before them, inspired by this moment, this surge of curiosity that calls us to look up. As we look to the future, let's remember the lessons the moon teaches us. Its cycles remind us that everything in life has rhythms and phases. Its presence reminds us that even in darkness, there's light. And its influence on tides, on our imagination, on our understanding of the universe, reminds us that no matter how small we may feel, each of us is part of something greater. What comes next? The moon is just the beginning. It's our first step on a journey that will take us beyond what we can see, beyond what we can imagine. As we venture further into the cosmos, as we explore planets, stars, and galaxies, the moon will always be there, a constant, a guide, a reminder of where we started. Our journey to the moon and beyond is a journey that brings us closer to understanding ourselves and our place in the universe. And as you go about your life, remember to take a moment now and then to look up. Let the moon remind you of the infinite possibilities that surround us, of the mysteries waiting to be discovered, and of the incredible journey we're all on together. Because who knows what the future holds? Who knows what wonders we'll uncover, what dreams we'll achieve? Thank you for watching. Keep looking up and stay inspired.